So we call it the doctrine or the principle of double effect because we're concerned about an action which produces two effects, okay, or a double effect, a twofold effect. And the idea is typically that there's something that you desire and something that you don't desire. And the question is whether or not it's permissible to produce that effect that you don't desire when that effect that you don't desire can bring pretty negative consequences into the world.
Let's give a simple example of this.
Yeah, okay. So let's say
or
that,
decision, then talk about how it applies. Yeah, what's an example and then how it applies. Yeah, good.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so let's do like a complicated example in the mountains because why not have a simple example in the valley when you can do a complicated example in the mountains? Okay, let's say that you and I are hiking.
Yep.
There's some alpinism involved here. We're going up and over things which are sheer. Yeah, mountaineering.
Yeah.
We're going up and over some things that are sheer, covered
Yes.
with ice. We're wearing crampons. We're using ice axes, which in French are called pirolets. And at a certain point, I slip. I'm connected to you, all right? So I slip, and I'm exerting an incredible amount of pressure on your back / your body. And I'm hanging over this like vast chasmic void. And if I fall, I will fall to my death. And I'm down there being like, it's okay. I've been looking for a good night's sleep for the last 36 years. Yeah. So the question is, can we get ourselves out of this pickle? And it seems like we can't because the weight of my body is what's a cool adjectival form of weight? So weighty. Whew.
Yeah.
Gosh, got through that. That you can't advance, but you also can't go backwards either because then both of us will be lost into the void. So I have a choice. I can choose to free you from your burden.
Yep.
All right, so I can take my little handy-dandy Swiss Army knife and get to cutting. It's going to take me a while. But I can cut you loose.
Yeah.
In the recognition that I will fall to my death. And that's not an act of suicide because what I have done is I have willed to remove you from a burden which will keep you from making your way up and over the mountain and back to a place of safety in recognition that I will die, but that I can will the saving of you, foresee the dying of me, and choose that uprightly. That is to say, without sin or without any moral culpability.
Yeah. Now, listeners and viewers, you might have thought this was just an episode. This was an example taken from Endgame or something with Scarlett Johansson, what have you. But I think actually, I suspect this is from our Bachelor of Sacred Theology comps exams.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we had the same examiner,
We did.
and I always remember this question. From our examiner, which is basically this one. And I've always remembered, like, can I cut you off? But of course, it's you. Different question.
It is different questions.
I
I was just trying to put you in a non-binding sitch.
Exactly. Yeah, well, no pun intended.
Take the blame.
So, no, I do think it matters different those things. But we're not going to that. The point is that it does make a nice example of how there are actions have multiple effects to them.
Yeah.
And the question is, some actions are doable. They're allowed to be done morally. And there are other actions that aren't. But sometimes they come in like a package deal and how to navigate that.
Father Bonaventure, if you had the choice between holding a toad and subscribing to a YouTube channel, what would you choose?
Subscribe to a toad holding a YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh. Please subscribe to a toad holding a YouTube channel, especially if it's ours. Cheers.